Hey everybody, this is JKman99 and welcome to another year of Buffalo Bills football, which means another year of me predicting the record for the season. Yeah, well, let's just get started. I know everyone has other things to do, so we're just gonna go right through it. Um, I used to have a color system. I've avoided that. I'm just gonna tell you what I think, and let's go. All right. So, week one, Bills versus Jets in New Jersey. At the beginning of the scheduling season, like back in May, they said this was like the game of the year. We'll see. Um, but let's talk about the game and who I think is going to win. Um, Aaron Rodgers has not looked good the last couple seasons at the beginning of the year. Remember a couple years ago, he lost to the Saints by like 30 plus points at the beginning, and then he eventually got better. He's being asked to join a new team, and he only had like two drives in the preseason. I just don't think they're going to have it all ready to go week one. Another thing is there's so much expectation. I remember a couple years ago, the Bills opened up against the Steelers, and we were all like, oh, like we were all off after COVID, and now we're all back. It's going to be crazy up in there. And we lost the game. And I think that's what's going to happen with that Monday night game. I think the Jets fans are going to think they're going to win pretty easily, and I think that's where the Bills are going to surprise them. And I have the Bills winning that first game, probably like 20-13. I think it's actually going to be an ugly game. I don't think either team's going to look great, but I look for a defensive dogfight in that first game. All right, week two, a first home game, Raiders versus Buffalo. Um, I know Jimmy G is now their quarterback. He has once again another situation where he hasn't had a lot of time with the team in actual games. So I just don't see the Raiders coming across the country and getting a W that week too. So I see the Bills winning that one. Okay, week three, Bills versus Commanders. First time we've played the Commanders. Last time it was football team. Uh, Here's the deal with this one. I would say that the Commanders are going to look better with Sam Howell. Like I was very like I didn't think Sam Howell. I was like, oh, they got to get a quarterback. What are they doing? But he looked pretty good in the preseason. I think he might be ready if you know what I'm saying. But I don't think he's going to be ready enough to beat the Bills week three, even though they are at home. I think it's going to be closer than people think, but I am giving that game to Buffalo. All right, week four, Bills versus Dolphins. I gotta tell you, still, Dolphins seem to be the better team last year, both games, and I think it's going to be very similar this year. However, unlike last year where we barely lost to them week three down in Miami, this time they're here week four, and no one's going to be dying from heat stroke out there in the week four game. So, yeah, I just think that given how close we did last year, suffering all that stuff, I think the Bills will just barely, once again, um, get this one. So we're 4-0 right now, but I want you to realize what I'm saying. I don't think any of these games are give me's. None of them. I'm not saying we could easily go 0-4. I'm not saying that either, but I'm just saying that none of these games are easy walk in the park games. If I had to pick the easiest, it'd be the Raiders and the Commanders, but there's still no gimmies. Okay, week five, Jaguars versus Buffalo in London. Yeah, sure, home game for the Bills. But let's face it, London loves. Well, I don't know if they really love the Jaguars, but the Jaguars have been going to London quite a bit. I think back to that 9-6 game. I don't know if that's telling at all. I know that Josh Allen did a good job at sacking Josh Patrick Allen in that game, or just getting pressure, I should say. So I actually have this as my first loss. I don't know. I just the Bills still aren't familiar with playing with London. Jacksonville is. I just see Jacksonville having a slight upper hand in this game. But again, I could see the Bills winning this one. Most of these games are 50-50 so far, guys. It's very interesting. Um, okay, so let's come back to Buffalo. Sunday Night Football. Bills versus the Mini Bills, aka the Giants. Um, yeah, no, again, another game where Brian Dable could have his revenge hat on. I don't know why he really have revenge, like, but he could want to prove something to Sean McDermott. I don't know. He can come in here and be like, hey, look, I was the one who got you where you needed to go. I mean, we were 13-3 last year, so I don't know how much you can really say about that. But he has really improved the Giants. Like they were a losing team until he got there, and it's something to respect. But I do think there's a lot of old I say Hodgins. But no, I'm still saying Bills. And Boogie Basham just got traded, but I'm still saying the Bills are going to win. I just don't think the Giants are a good enough team. Oh no! There we go. Oh, we almost had technical. Oh no! There. Okay, so Bills versus Patriots. Now, I'll admit, for the longest time, I had the Jaguars as a Bills win, and I had the Patriots as a first loss, and I flip flopped them. I decided the Bills are going to win that Patriots game. Now, if the Bills are 6-0 at this point, I could really see that Patriots game being an iffy one, but I just don't see the Bills being 6-0 at this point anymore. So at that point, it's like, well, okay, so like I don't want to say the easiest team that we have on the schedule this year is the Patriots because that sounds crazy, but as of right now, it kind of is though. So maybe Washington could be your other like easiest team technically, but again, we could lose to Washington. So yeah, I'm gonna sing the Bills here. I think they're gonna be on a good streak and they're gonna be ready to go against Patriots. Now, actually, now that I've said which is our easiest team, if I really had to pick an easiest team, it's probably the Buccaneers. I respect Baker Mayfield a lot, as you all know. Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen faced each other back in 2018. Baker Mayfield won that game. A little different Josh Allen at the time, though. He was still a rookie, not a good player. So I mean, I just think it's going to be a Bills victory, though. I don't think Baker's going to bring that team back to the Tom Brady level that they were. So Bills win here. Okay, now Bills versus Bengals. The big rematch game from last year, lots of emotion. Damar Hamlin returning to Cincinnati. They put it right in the middle of the season. Like we all know what the point of that is. And to be truthful, I don't see any changes between the Bills and the Bengals that are going to separate from what happened last year. So, unfortunately, what does that mean? That means the Bengals win. The Bills, they ate through our secondary last year. I know now Micah Hyde's back, which is ironic. Micah Hyde's back, so there won't be a Hamlin out there or Dean Marlowe like there was. If everybody stays healthy, can they do that with a perfect secondary? I don't know. Because remember, our safeties are getting older too. I mean, like I saw Poyer in the preseason make some pretty silly mistakes, and it was like, okay, that was the first time that I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe there's a reason he came back to Buffalo. Unfortunately, they're just starting to. I think they're already past their prime. I'm not saying they're out of their prime, but I'm saying like they might not be as good as we remember them being. So, yeah, Bengals win week 9. So let's go down to week 10, Monday Night Football game against Denver. I think Denver's going to be a lot better this season. Not like a good team, but I do think they're going to be better. Obviously, there was a coaching quarterback disconnect, and I think with Sean Payton in there, they're going to do a little bit better. But I know they just lost Jerry Jeudy, I believe. I don't know if he'll still be hurt at the time or whatnot. And they have tough competition, and Russell Wilson just doesn't look like the same Russell Wilson. He doesn't look like that dominant player that's going to pull you out of like any situation anymore. Which is something we wish Tom Brady had for the longest time, guys. I know I'm darting off in a little bit different direction here, but we wanted that for so many years, and it's just so nice to see that happen to Russell Wilson. It's like, okay, he's human, yay. But he had a heck of a decade. But now it's over. He's a normal quarterback. He can, like, he's not just, he can lose games. Let's just say that. And I think he'll lose this one to Buffalo. Welcome to Buffalo, though. It's his first time playing here. So I look forward to that. Okay. Jets versus Buffalo, week 11. I have gone back and forth on this so many times. And I think I finally made the decision today to give this one to the Jets. And here's why. I have a lot of trouble seeing us sweeping the Jets this year. So I just, that was weird. So I just don't want to like say that even though I think we're at home and I think like the Bills probably we're going to be favored in this game. I just have a feeling that the Jets are going to pull this one off. They almost pulled it off with Mike White last year. So, I mean, if they play like 80% as good as they did last year, like they'll win that game easily. So Jets win that game. So here's where the Bills season starts to spiral. And this actually, guys, this makes sense because every year the Bills, they kind of start off hot, right? And then at some point in the middle of the season, unless it changes this year, they kind of start losing games, unfortunately. And I think this is where we're going to see some of that. So week 12, the Bills play the Eagles. Now, I don't want to do this thing where like I predict that the Bills can't beat any good team. I'm not suggesting. I mean, I said Jets at the beginning, and things like that. But like they beat the Ravens and the Chiefs last year, so I know it's possible they can beat some of these teams. But I just see the Eagles having just a little bit too much firepower, and I can't remember the last time the Bills have won in Philly. Like it seems like it's I don't think it's been in this century. So yeah, I think the Eagles are going to win that game. Bills finally get a bye, then they come back off the bye week 14. I said this last year, and I was thankfully wrong, but I'm going to say it again this year. The Chiefs always have the Bills number, it seems, in the playoffs and just as an overall team, unfortunately. How many times are the Bills going to beat this team in the regular season? It always seems like not luck, but like everything had to go right just to get it done. So I kind of foresee that happening again this year, where like, how many times can we do this? How many times can we call revenge? They even beat us in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm gonna say Chiefs. I know they're off the bye and everything, but yeah, unless Patrick Mahomes is hurt, Chiefs win. So then next week 15, the Cowboys come to Buffalo. That Trey Lance trade, I gotta tell you, I don't know what the Cowboys were thinking there because, I mean, are they going to develop Trey Lance? Are they going to? Is that going to make Dak look over his shoulder a little bit? Like, whoa, like I could get replaced by this guy if he develops. Uh-oh. And that always puts undue pressure on the quarterback. Now, I don't think that's what the Cowboys are really doing because they paid Dak all that money. But at the same time, they paid Dak all that money. So I don't know what. So maybe that's part of this. Who knows? But like, oh man, the Cowboys are just not a good run organization. So, I just want that guy. Like it's, they're not really thinking. So yeah, Bills win this one. The Bills have always seemed to play the Cowboys good when they come here. They destroyed them. Well, they destroyed them. They beat them last time. They had that Monday night game with T.O. 16 years ago now, where they Romo threw like 6 interceptions. They still won, but they still a good game. So, okay. Week 16. This is the hardest one for me of all of this because I really want to give this one to Buffalo. I really do because I'm just like, okay, I just feel that in any given situation we would beat the Chargers, but it is in LA. And I know last year we went to LA and there was no problems. But this year it's like, I mean, where are we going to catch our luck? So, in other words, like, I mean, we're going to lose a game we're not expected to lose or not expect. Yeah. And I don't know. I think this one really is a toss up. So, because of the travel, I'm giving it to the LA Chargers. If I said San Diego earlier, I did not mean to. I almost said it right now. That's why I said LA to clarify. Okay. So I'm giving away my next two picks by saying this next sentence. The Patriots are the only team in the division I see the Bills sweeping. I just don't see them coming in week 17 and giving us anything unless it's like a really bad weather game and it's running versus run. But hey, we have Damien Harris now. So like maybe we actually could get a running game against them if Josh Allen is shut down by the weather. Um, but yeah, other than that, I just think we're such a more talented team than the Patriots right now. So I'm giving the Bills the win. Um, so like I said, I kind of gave away um, the Week 18 pick because I said the Patriots are the only team we're going to sweep. So if we beat the Dolphins already, that means we'll lose to them Week 18. Now I don't remember the last. Well, I think it was. When was it? Was it in 2019? I think it was. 2019, I think was the last time we lost, like the last week of the season. Um, like I don't feel like we're going to lose the last week of the season, but who knows what's going to happen here? Like the Dolphins might be playing for their playoff lives. It is in Miami, which again is good because it's winter, so the temperature is going to be nice both times we play the Dolphins this year. Um, I just see them winning that game because I think they're going to be more desperate for the playoffs than the Bills at the time. So what does that make the Bills record? I think 11-6 if I counted right. If not, whoa. Okay. Okay. Well, there you go, guys. I'm sad by this, but I'm gonna double check all my picks. But 10-7 for the Bills. Whew. I gotta tell you though, this schedule, when I look at every matchup, I don't see any easy wins. There's not one game this year where I point to the screen and say, easy win, move on. No. Like last year, I would say that was the Bears or something like that. Even that was a tough game for the Bills. But like there none of them. Like I could see every game going the other way. Now I didn't pick like I picked like I said while I was doing it, I didn't pick any like upset picks. I didn't pick like the Bills beating the Eagles or the Bills beating the Chiefs or anything like that. But man, so let's take a look at the losses here. What do I have them? Okay, so Jacksonville won, then the Bengals, then the Jets. Okay, then the Eagles and the Chiefs and the Chargers and then the Dolphins. Yeah, wow. Um, Yikes. So okay, so that really doesn't spell very good news for the Bills this year. I don't know, like 7-2 at home, 3-5 away. That's um yikes. Yeah, it doesn't look that great. Um so I mean if I were to take away some of these, I mean like again, could the Bills, I mean they went 13-3 last year. So could they beat the Eagles and the Chiefs? Oh yeah. Could they beat the Chargers? Absolutely. The Bengals, I don't know. I mean now there's the revenge factor, so maybe on the Bengals, but the talent I still think it goes towards the Bengals there. Could we beat Jacksonville? Yeah. Um, could could the Patriots beat us one of those two times? Yes. Um, could we sweep the Jets? Yeah, possible. So I mean, again, like I could see us doing much better as well. I just don't think we're going to be in the fast track for the number one seed. I don't think we're going to be. Um, I think we're going to make the playoffs, but I don't think it's going to be anything super special. Like I think we'll get in. Hopefully, home field advantage will be well, not home field advantage, but like a home playoff game will be great. We'll see what the rest of the division does. I think the last time I did do like a whole season thing, we did have the division. I think so. Yeah, because I don't see the Jets doing as good. I see Miami kind of doing what they did last year, and then the Patriots. I just don't see them doing well either. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, guys. 10-7 record for the Bills, and they'll make the playoffs. That is my prediction. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to be 11-6. So I haven't really done it like this, so I wasn't even sure of my own count. So what do you guys have to say? Do you think it's going to be better than this? What games do you disagree with me on? And please like and subscribe to the page when you leave the video. viewing pleasure that you just had. And thanks again for tuning in, and take care.